So, barring injury or a Space Jam style talent being sucked out of her through a basketball, Napheesa Collier is going to be the MVP of Unrivaled. She's going to be the MVP. She's been by far the best player in Unrivaled by so much. And because she is one of the owners and her husband is the president, you know, the league's rigged. The league's rigged. Just in everything. In everything, like, so if you've looked at this right here, like all the 1v1 competitions, like obviously, like Ryan Howard lost to Courtney Williams. We all know Ryan Howard calling the league rigged. And I've just been looking at it more and more on Twitter, and I'm like, ooh, this is not a really, really bad look because obviously Ryan Howard retweeted that, but when you dig deeper, the whole thing, there's conspiracy theories that this league is made to make Napheesa Collier look good and nothing else. Like, this nonsense, these nonsense theories. Like, oh, this league is just made to put down AJ Wilson. I'm like, man, you put AJ Wilson in the league and Napheesa Collier is still better than her. Like, what happened last year when the Lynx played the Aces? What, 3-1 to the Lynx and Fee destroyed them every time? Like, come on now. And which of the two, like, we're in the WNBA finals? And the best part about this is people are like, oh, Fee was, like, what's Fee won? She just won Defense Player of the Year. She's never won a championship or finals MVP. And I'm like, yeah, because Stewie did the cha-cha slide into a clean block by Alana Smith, and the referees rigged the finals because the freaking commissioner was there in her New York dress. Like, she lost the most rigged game of basketball ever. Like, it's like saying that Chris Webber could never get it done because he literally had a series rigged against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Like, we can't say somebody can never get it done when, like, a game was literally rigged against her. But, and it's funny, the thing being like, oh, people are now complaining it's rigged for her. Why is it league rigged for her? Because apparently she rigged the 1v1 competition so that she would have a height advantage in every round. Round 1, facing Katie Lou Samuelson. Katie Lou is taller than Napheesa Collier. Round 2, facing Rickea Jackson. Also taller than Napheesa Collier. Round 3, she's facing off against Courtney Williams, her own teammate. Fair enough, she's taller. And now, in the semi-final, she is facing off against Azurá Stevens. And now apparently it's Napheesa Collier rigged the draw so that she would get an easier matchup and face Azurá Stevens in the semis. And I'm like, who thought Azurá was going to make it to the semis? I'm sorry, like, obviously hindsight 2020 with the tall players, it's one thing. But, like, who would have ever guessed that Azurá Stevens was going to walk it to the semifinals? Like, Azurá on day 2 played Shakira Austin. She beat Shakira Austin. Who did she beat before that? Or did she get a bye? Either way, she beat Shakira Austin in a similar height matchup. And there's no way she needed just that one win, right? And she beat Ray Burrell, which wasn't easy. She destroyed Ray Burrell. Like, Azurá Stevens is just dominating. She's dominating all of Unrivaled, to be fair to her. Azurá is one of the best players in the entire league. And she has the toughest matchup. She's the toughest matchup. And the best part is people are like, oh, it's being rigged for the Founders. First of all, we got to point this out. Breanna Stewart got 12-0'd in the first round. And also, if you want to look at Unrivaled standings, the Mist are last. Stewie's team are last. And because the Lunar Owls are 8-0, everyone's saying it was rigged. The Lunar Owls have 5 players. They've never had 6 players. They just haven't been injured. The Laces would be the best team in the entire league if they weren't injured. The Lunar Owls literally have Cameron Brink, who can't play basketball right now on their team. Shakira Austin's been one of the worst players in all of Unrivaled. Like, they've got a really good starting 3, and Courtney Williams is okay. But, like, let's not forget how many times the Lunar Owls have, like, benefited from other teams just genuinely just bottling games. Like, the Mist twice, all they had to do was just make a couple of layups, and Jewel Lloyd forgot how to play basketball in the second half. Twice against them. But, yeah, it's mad. Like, everything has been talking about the league being rigged for Napheesa Collier. And why, I'm just putting it out there, why would the league rig it? If they're rigging it for a Founder, why would they rig it for Fee and not rig it for Breanna Stewart? Like, Breanna Stewart has got every opportunity that Napheesa Collier has. And, like, the 1v1 competition, no one knew how it was going to work. No one realized that it was just going to be bigs. And that's why I always said, and I was like, I thought Angel would be good because we were like, oh, she'll just catch her own rebounds. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. Aggressive, get your own boards, and don't get posted up, and you're going to be good. You're going to be fine. Doesn't matter how many times it takes you to put the ball in. It's not one shot. It's not one shot and out. You can get offensive boards in this. But with Fee, she's been the best player on the planet for a year. I get it. A'ja Wilson won the MVP and all, but like when Napheesa Collier was on the floor, the Lynx were the literal best team in the WNBA last year, record wise. When Fee was on the floor, she just missed. Was it 5 games before the All-Star break? I think did they go 2-3 in those? Either way, they were very close to they were close enough to the Liberty, and not only that, in the big games she stepped up. They won the Commissioner's Cup. She was the best player on either team in the finals. She was obviously, again, a Commissioner's Cup Finals MVP. She was the best defensive player in the WNBA last year. I don't care about reading box score. We're not using Hassan Whiteside-nomics to crown A'ja Wilson the defense player of the year. If you watched her play, she just stood under the basket. She didn't play defense. Like, she never guarded the best player, the best big on the other team. That was always Kia Stokes or whoever else it was playing at the 4. Heck, there would be times where they'd be getting killed inside by somebody, and Alicia Clark would suddenly have to pick up a Stewie or a Fee. It was never A'ja Wilson. Never. Like, her job was to stand under the basket and block shots, and in fairness, she did that better than anyone else, but Fee was the best defensive player. Then in the playoffs, Fee was the best player in the playoffs. Fee had arguably the greatest series of all time in round 1. Fee averaged 40 points per game for around the playoffs, and people just brushed it off like it was nothing. She was the best player in the world last year. And she's been the best player in Unrivaled by a mile. She's averaging like 10 points per game, more than third highest scorer in the entire league. And I'm pretty sure she's also leading in rebounds. I was looking at it, I was like, I think she's top. She's leading in, if I'm not mistaken, in total stats. She's leading in points per game. She's leading in rebounds per game. And I think she's leading in blocks per game. She's like second in steals per game. She's nearly leading, she's in the upper echelon of players in assists per game, and her team is 8-0. She's been by far the best player, and she's probably going to win the one-on-one competition. And who gives there's no draw that you can use to make things better. Again, you have to win. To win, you have to beat everybody. And Napheesa Collier has been dominating in that, just like she's been dominating in 3v3, just like she dominated in 5v5 last year. She's the best player in the world. You can't rig something to make the best player in the world look like the best player in the world. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.